Let me tell you about a story of a man-hater and how she messed with the wrong people. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me tell you about Adize. Adize was a wealthy, powerful woman, the kind that owned properties on the island, drove the finest cars, and had people bowing as she walked past. But Adize had a sickness, a deep, burning hatred for men. Every morning, she woke up with fire in her chest. One day, a man simply crossed her path on the street. She slapped him, screamed for the police, and declared, "As long as it is the male gender and he crosses my path, I will show him Pepe." Her best friend, Ngozi, tried to reason with her. "Adize, this hatred is becoming something else. You need help." But Adize would not listen. She ran her entire household with only women. Her driver was a woman, her gatekeeper was a woman, even her mechanic. Well, she didn't have a mechanic because a mechanic would be a man. Then came Chidinma. Chidinma was a simple, hard-working girl who just got a job as Adize's driver. On her first day, she almost overslept, but her boyfriend, Emeka, woke her up gently, made her breakfast, and said, "Babe, take your bath. You don't want to go to work smelling." Chidinma smiled. Emeka was a good mechanic, but more than that, he was a good man. He cooked for her, he cared for her, and Chidinma loved him with her whole heart. She would tell anyone who listened, "I like my man takes care of me." At work, Chidinma quickly noticed something strange. Her boss, Adize, refused to let any man step foot in her office. A male client once walked in by mistake. Adize screamed until he fled and fired the secretary who allowed it. One evening, Chidinma gathered courage and asked, "Ma, why do you hate men so much?" Adize's face darkened. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then the story poured out like poison from an old wound. "A man drugged me," she whispered. "He took everything, my properties, my documents, my money. I had to start from scratch. My mother went through the same thing. Now you know why I am the way I am." Chidinma felt pity. "But Ma, not all men are bad. There are good ones." Adize waved her hand. "I don't need advice. Leave." One night, Adize and Chidinma were driving home on a dark, dangerous road. Suddenly, the car coughed and died. Thugs locked in the shadows. Adize panicked. She screamed, "Call someone." Chidinma called the only person she trusted, Emeka. When Emeka arrived with his toolbox, Adize lost her mind. "You called a man to touch my car?" But the road was too unsafe. She had no choice. Emeka fixed the car in minutes. When he finished, Adize shoved money into his hand and snapped, "I don't want any man to say I didn't pay him." Then she fled. But that night, Adize could not sleep. She tossed and turned, haunted by one thought: why can't I get him out of my head? I owe a man gratitude, and I hate it. Next morning, Adize found another excuse. "Chidinma, tell your boyfriend to come fix my car at the house. I want him to be my personal mechanic every weekend." Chidinma was confused. Her boss hated men, yet wanted her boyfriend around. But she obeyed. Emeka came, he walked, and Adize watched him like a hawk watches a rabbit. She paid him 200,000 naira for a 20,000 naira job. Then she offered him a retainer. Emeka, innocent and hardworking, accepted. Ngozi warned Adize, "This man belongs to someone else. You are trying to buy love again, just like you did before." Adize snapped back, "They are not married. He is single. I can have him if I want." A few days later, Adize attended a spinster's party, no men allowed. On her way home, armed men attacked her car. They tried to kidnap her. She screamed. By the grace of God, Emeka was passing by with a friend. He fought off the attackers and drove Adize home. She was shaking, crying, terrified. "Please don't leave me. What if they come back?" Emeka called Chidima. Babe, your boss was attacked. I rescued her. She's scared. I need to stay the night. Chidima trusted him. Okay, my love, be safe. That night, Adeze had nightmares. Emeka comforted her, and something shifted inside Adeze. Something dangerous. The next day, Adeze called Emeka again. My car is bad. Emergency. Please come. Emeka came. He started working. Then Adeze offered him a drink. You've been working hard. Just relax. Emeka drank, and then nothing. Darkness. When he woke up, he was naked in Adeze's bed. She was beside him. He had no memory of what happened. Oh God, what have you done? He whispered. Then the door burst open. Chidima stood there, eyes blazing. Babe, I swear, Emeka cried. She drugged me. I don't remember anything. But Chidima could not hear. The image of her man in another woman's bed burned into her soul. She ran out, sobbing. Later, Adeze found Emeka alone and made her offer. Name your price. I will make you a CEO. I will give you 300 million naira. I will buy you houses, cars, land, everything. Just be mine. Emeka looked at her with disgust. You are beautiful and successful, but you cannot buy me. But Adeze would not stop. Chidima went mad with grief. She stormed Adeze's house with a knife, screaming, I will kill you. Security had to drag her away. Ngozi confronted Adeze. Seducing your driver's boyfriend? That is the lowest you can go. You are becoming the very thing you hate. Adeze ignored her. She then went to Chidima and offered her 50 million naira to leave Emeka. Chidima laughed in her face. You want to buy my love? Get out of here before I show you Pepe. That night, Emeka told Chidima something shocking. Maybe you should take her money. She is rich. I need that money as a man. Chidima's heart broke. But then Emeka whispered, Trust me. And Chidima understood. They had a plan. Emeka went back to Adeze and pretended to surrender. He acted like the perfect boyfriend, feeding her breakfast in bed, carrying her around, whispering sweet words. Adeze was overjoyed. She transferred properties to his name, 6 plots of land, 2 duplexes. She promised him 300 million naira for a business deal. She told Ngozi, I won. He chose me. Chidima is defeated. Ngozi just shook her head. You cannot buy love. Adeze had to travel for 3 days. I'll be back, my love, she told Emeka. The moment her car left the gate, Emeka and Chidima sprang into action. They sold everything, the cars, the houses, the lands, the businesses. They packed their bags and they fled to another country. Adeze returned early. 3 days became 2. She walked into her house calling Emeka. Emeka? Silence. Then she saw an envelope on the table. She opened it with shaking hands. Dear Adeze, the letter read, If you are reading this, I am far gone. Thank you for the millions, the cars, the houses, but you cannot buy my love. My heart belongs to Chidima alone. We have relocated abroad. I sold everything you gave me. I will use that money to build a life with my woman. I pray you find someone who will love you unconditionally. Goodbye. Adeze fell to her knees. The scream that came out of her mouth shook the entire compound. Not again, again. She wept like a child. History had repeated itself. A man had taken everything from her, but this time she had no one to blame but herself. Ngozi held her friend as she cried. I warned you, you cannot use money to buy love. What is not yours is not yours. Far away, in a new country, Emeka and Chidima sat on a beach, watching the sunset. She rested her head on his shoulder. You almost scared me, she said. I would never leave you, he replied. Not for all the money in the world. And somewhere in Nigeria, Adeze sat alone in her empty mansion, learning the hardest lesson of all. True love is not for sale.